Welcome! In this video we're going to do a solo playthrough of Star Wars The Mandalorian Adventures, along with a quick overview of setup and the basics of play. So down at the table we've got everything we need to get started for our first mission. We've got our rule book and our mission book. So just opening this up, you can see we've got a quick setup guide, and we're just going to jump right on in for a preparation. Read the top card of the guide deck and follow some instructions until it tells us to stop. So that is this stack of cards that is going to be numbered, letting you know where they are. So guide deck, do not shuffle or look at these. When setting up your first game, flip this card and follow the instructions. And that is for your first game, play mission 1. This serves as a good tutorial to learn the basic rules. Follow the setup instructions on page 2 and 3 of the rule book. Playing the mission solo or with more than 2 players, we need to share characters or use the sandbox mode shown on 13. So basically what that means is each character comes with their own 12-card deck, but playing solo, we're going to take 2 characters and shuffle both those decks together. And as you can see, we'll be playing IG-88 and the Mandalorian here. And then it says stop. After we complete our first game, we can go further. So that's all we need from the guide deck. We'll go ahead and put that first card on the bottom. So we want to flip to mission 1. So first there's kind of a comic going through what's going on. So we've got a job in the bounty hunting is complicated profession. Then we'll move to our first map. That shows us our characters. So we've got the Mandalorian and IG-88. Our objective is to capture the asset. A character is in the asset space, found a triangle threat at the end of any player's turn. We'll have captured it. Failure will be if a character is defeated. So some map rules, bunker access. During your action step, you may take a door control feature found in one of the circle threats from your space and place it below. The door is unlocked when both tokens are here, so we need to find both those tokens to open up this closed door. And the asset is going to be under one of those spots. Down here, we've got a bad event going on. So place a damage token here. The 3 tokens are here. Remove them and spawn 1 reinforcement in these 2 spaces with the fewest enemies, or the one of those. And then down at the bottom, it's showing what our actions are. So on our turn, we have to take 2 actions. They're going to have to be 2 different actions. We have move, attack, intel, and plan, and we'll go over more of those when we take those actions. But basically our cards are going to be different numbers basically, and whenever we play a card, that's the strength that is. So if we put a card here with a 2 on it, we can move up to 2 spaces. Put a 4 down here, move up to 4 spaces. Same thing with attack, intel, secretly look at a face down threat within range of whatever number we put down, or choose an enemy within that range to move it 1 space. And planning is going to let us look at so many cards, keep 1, place 1 on top of the deck, and then discard the others. So we've done step 1, planning deck, shuffle that. So this has different things in there, such as retaliate, strategize, no effects, and defending, so different things we're going to want. Give that a quick shuffle, and done. Then shuffle the event deck, which is going to be this stack of cards. They all have a 5+ on that. That's basically, if one of these has 5 or more on it, we're going to get an event. And if it has 6 up, we do this bonus thing. The backs are different, so they're kind of giving you an idea of what might happen. So here, probably going to get hit by a ranged attack. A whole lot of different things, melee, questionable what might happen. So we can kind of plan, but not really. So we'll give that a shuffle and place that down here. Damage and disrupt tokens. So we place all the damage tokens up here, so they go from 1 to 4. Then we need to find the 5 disrupt tokens with a white face, which will be these. So there are some with a yellow. Then we're going to randomize those and put 1 on each of these actions. So that's going to add to those, getting up to 5, and then shuffle the other one in with the remaining ones. Then separate our threat tokens. So we want all the tokens that has a 1 on the back of it, because we're on mission 1, and they all have different shapes. So these all have circles. We want those randomized to triangles, some squares, and some pentagons. So separate these. And looking on the map, we can see we've got spaces. So if there's a question mark in that space, that means it's going to go face down. So we have no idea what's under it. So we'll fill up the ones with the circles. Then we've got the triangles there with the question mark. One of those is the asset we need to get to, and the other one, of course, is not. Then the squares don't have the circle, so they're going to come in face up. So you can see in that spot, we've got a sharpshooter. It's got 1 health and an ability. That ability is, he's a sentry, deals you 1 damage if you end your movement within range 1. And then just filling in the rest. That guy's got 2 health. Another similar one, and then right here, that's just a regular ranged person with 2 health, and melee with 2 health. And there, ranged with 3 health. And then we have basically the red lines is blocking terrain, so it can't move through it. These are dashed, so that's elevated. We can't move through it, but we can do ranged through it. So you can see they've got a ladder. So up top, got a melee guy watching and a ranged guy with 1. So that is the setup. These guys will come in through events, and we will start in this spot. So we've got our standees, and yeah, I think you can see those differently. Got our main cards. We're going to play regular game, so you can play to where you start with 8 health each. We'll start with 6. Put those there. So we've got a little cheat sheet letting us know the different effects on the back of these cards. And then the steps of a turn. So we've got our action step, in which we must perform 2 actions, limit 1 skill card per action slot per turn. Event step for each action slot. So after we take our turn, we're going to add up the numbers on each of these areas. 6 or more, we resolve a crisis and an event. Exactly 5, just an event. 4 or less, we don't do anything. Then we'll draw up till we have 4 cards in hand. And like I said, since we're playing solo, we take both our decks, shuffle them together. Whenever we play a card, we're activating that character. And with that, I think we are ready to get going. So we'll draw 4 cards and see how we want to proceed. So we've got a calculated risk for IG-88, and the others were all the Mandalorian, sneak attack. So in this one, it's going to be a 2, but if we put it in the move spot, we'll get an additional ability, and we can do the action and the special ability in any order. Our phase pulse blaster and a tracking fob. All right, we're going to take this card and put it in the attack spot. So normally that's going to give us an attack of 3, deal 3 damage to a threat within range 1. But instead of this one, it says, instead of performing this action, deal 3 damage to a threat at exactly range 3. So 1, 2, 3, we're going to deal 3 damage here, which is going to defeat that character. And we're going to have to move this out of the way. Then we're going to move up to 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever you enter a space with a token, it's going to end your movement, even though it's at the max. But then if it's hidden, we're going to flip it over. And we found a health token, or med pack. Discard this feature from your space at any time during your action step to heal 1 damage. So we can just keep that there because we're at full health at the moment. So we've done our actions. Now the event step. We go through each of these and see which ones are 5 or more basically. So we hit 5. So we're going to remove these tokens. And the card goes back to our discard pile. And we'll flip our first event. So this is Swarm, probably the worst card in the game. So at their nearest spot, we're going to get a new enemy, and the other spot, we're going to get another enemy. So down here, got that ability where if we stop within 1, we're going to take a damage with 2 health, and then there, guy with 3 health. And then this is 5. So we've got an ambush, the nearest spot, we're going to get another one. 1, 2, 3, so we can kind of pick which one, but don't think it really matters. And then we need to activate one of these sharpshooters, going to shoot us at a range of 3. Let's see, which is this guy. So he can shoot through that, or 1, 2, 3. So we're getting shot, which means we'll take a damage. So it didn't bounce nicely off of our armor. We took the damage. All right. So we did the event step. Now the draw step. Fill our hand up to 4 cards. So IG-88 with a power of 4, then Mando with a power of 1. Let me make a little bit more room here. All right, so back to our action step. Well, since we took a damage, it's free. We'll take a med pack for some healing. Okay, we're going to play sneak attack on the Mandalorian, giving us 2 move, and then deal 2 damage to an enemy in your space. Use this before resolving enemy abilities. So if we would have moved in there, we could have killed one of these before they did a damage back to us. We're going to move here and stop, and then deal 2 damage to defeat. Then we're going to do some planning. We're just going to draw the top card over here. We may keep it. Let's see. Draw 1 planning card. You may keep 1 and may place 1 on the top of the deck and discard the others. We're going to keep this. When you're dealt damage, discard this to block 1. So that goes on the Mandalorian. Then event steps. We're seeing if anything adds up to 5 or more. So we're good. Draw step. Get 2 more cards of ours, not the events. Okay, so these additional abilities, basically this is a 1 strength card or a 3 strength card, but if we play it in those areas, it's going to add +1 to them. So I think what we're going to do is have IG-88 move 3. 1, 2, 3, and then with that ability, if you end your movement within range 1, take a damage. Then we're going to attack for 1. Now if we put this in planning, that would count as a 2. But this guy only has 1 health. And check for events. This one's going to trigger at 5. Draw attention. Flip the nearest face down threat face up. Not through locked doors. Well, that's the nearest threat. And we found a melee guy with 5 health. Nasty. I'm going to warn you, it will draw many eyes. And we're good on the other 2. So, drawing 2 cards. It's going to be all IG-88. We're going to move him 3. So 1, 2, 3. And have him attack up there for 4. Then for event, we're at 5. So all melee are going to move 3 spaces towards their closest enemy. So this is the only melee piece, so it's going to move there. And then one of them is going to attack at range 0. So IG-88 is going to take a 2nd damage. And we draw 2 cards. Let's see. Well, we're just going to have Boba Fett do 4 damage to this one. Then we'll have IG-88 plan. So we get to look at 2 cards. Got bad luck and strategize during your turn. Discard this to draw 2 skill cards and or perform 1 additional action this turn. So the bad luck, we will go ahead. Let's see, you may keep 1 and may place 1 on top, discard the others. We'll discard the bad luck. We will keep the strategize. So we'll go ahead and play it, draw 2 skill cards and perform an additional action maybe. We'll go ahead and take the additional action. We'll play that here in Intel. So we can secretly look at a face-down threat within range or choose an enemy within this range to move it a space. I think we'll move this guy up the ladder so we can shoot him. Then we can deal ourselves a damage to perform a free 3 strength action of your choice. And I think we'll kill that guy out. Alright, so that officially ends your turn. Good here, good there, not so good here. So we're at 6. So we're going to place a token up here. When 3 tokens are there, more bad things happen. Then we still get one of these. Thermal detonator. Deal 1 damage to any character. We'll put that on the Mandalorian and block it. And then this is at 5. All right, so we're getting a bad guy in our space. And at a range 2, well, that's the closest, so he'll shoot IG-88. Take him up to 3 damage. And then we will draw up to 4 cards. So, don't like going up to 6, so we'll just take it up to 5 to finish this one off. Then we're going to do some more intel to move these dangerous people to move next to is dangerous, but if they move next to us, not as dangerous. For the event, this is triggering. The nearest enemy moves 1 space towards you, then if it is in your space, it attacks you. And the U is going to be the top card on the action slot, so that was IG-88. So this guy's already there. Just going to hit him for another damage. He's up to 4. Then we'll draw 2 cards, both for IG-88. 2 and a 2. Move, deal yourself a damage to deal. No, we'll pass on that. We're already hurting bad enough. I think we need IG-88 to plan and hope he can defend himself. So looking at 2 cards, we found to defend, also retaliate. So after an enemy deals you damage, even if you block it, discard this to deal 2 damage to that enemy, but kind of concerned about his health. And then we're going to have Mando take out that guy. And looking down, nothing's going to trigger, so draw 2 cards. Both for the Mando. Got our Beskar armor. We'll go ahead and use this, that's nice. So it counts as 1, but if we use it as an attack, it's going to count as 2. And that'll be enough to take this one out. Then we're going to have IG-88 do some intel. This time we're going to look at a face-down token. All right, so there's one of the keypads we need. So we do need to get to that spot. And end of turn, this is going to trigger. So we're going to have 2 people shooting move a space. I mean, that guy's already at someone. So he'll move there, and this guy will move down the ladder. And then 2 are going to shoot at range 2. So IG-88 will get shot in the face and defend against it. And this one can shoot at either one. So we're going to have the Mando take it. And draw 2 IG-88 cards. Ooh, some emergency repairs. Heal 1 damage from any character in your space that has 2 or less remaining health. So that seems like a yes. We'll put that in the plan section. So planning, we'll draw a card. It's bad luck, discard it. And then we'll heal 1 up to 3. Then we'll let him do some intel to move this guy back a space, because we know we got to get there. We probably need that one too, but oh well. All right, so none of those trigger. Draw 2 cards. Flamethrower. Deal 2 damage to an enemy in your space. All right, we're going to have the Mando move 2. 1, 2. Then we're going to have him attack for 2. And then deal 2 damage to an enemy in your space. So that's a total of 4 to take him out. Now the bad news, we get an event here. So melee is moving 3. We don't have any melee pieces, but then we're having one of these shoot at a range of 2. And this guy works, so we'll take 2 damage. And then we've got 6 here. So we added a token there. All right, so all the melee pieces are moving. We don't have any, and then 2 of them are going to attack. So since this card did nothing, we are going to spawn at one of these locations. That's going at the nearest spot, which is on him. And we're good on those, so we'll draw this and then shuffle and draw another card. All right. All right, we're going to have the Mando attack for 4. Take this guy out. Then we'll have him plan for 2. 1, 2. We'll take a retaliate. So if someone shoots us, we deal 2 back. And strategize, not terrible, but we'll discard it. And then this has 5 on it. So we get an event. Surgical strike. So 2 are going to shoot at range 3. After an enemy attacks, move it 1 space away from the nearest player. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so they're both shooting him. So we'll let this one shoot. We'll take that damage. So we're up to 3. And he'll move a space away, and then this one's going to shoot, which we take. But we're going to retaliate on that one to get rid of that. We yelled, "Get down," but didn't listen. All right, drawing 2 cards. All right, we're going to go ahead and move 3 with him to go get one of the 2 doors tokens. Then we'll shoot for 1, take this one out. That's going to take this one to 5, so we get an event. Engage. Melee piece is moving 3. We don't have any on the board. The range one is moving 2. So we can move it to him or move it to this one. And then moving 1, well, they want to go to the nearest, so that's fine, as long as they don't attack. And we're out of that, so we'll go ahead and shuffle. And we've got 2 Mando cards. All right, we'll have the Mando do this attack. Instead of performing this action, deal 3 damage to a threat exactly 3 away. We'll take care of that one. Then I guess we'll plan. Get a retaliate. And nothing triggers, so we'll draw 2 cards. It's all about the Mando. So we'll use the move to go 1-2, see what we have here. Yep, that's the one we want. So I had that set up in case it was an enemy, we could shoot it. So now the door has opened so we can get in here. Would be nice to do that, but we can't do actions through walls. I really don't want to set anything off to 6 or higher. So we're just going to plan and get a defend, which is not bad. All right, so this is going to trigger. Draw attention, flip the nearest face down threat face up. Well, it's going to be one of them 2. And we got the enemy. Then draw 2 cards. Then we're going to use the Mando for movement of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we found the child. So we have made our objective. And with that, we can move on to the next mission if we so choose. So that is the basics of how to play this game. Got him pretty close to death, healed him a little bit, and him pretty close to death also. But we found the child without fully dying. So as always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.